Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Hub, your trusted destination for unfiltered intelligence on one of the most quietly explosive financial movements of our time. Within the next 24 hours, we could see a dramatic shift in the tone and direction of global financial discourse. What was once dismissed as fringe speculation is now being acknowledged by voices previously too conservative to lend any credibility to the idea. With the Vietnamese Dong crossing the $2.60 mark and the Iraqi Dinar flirting with $4.92, numbers that used to fuel dreams in online forums are now appearing in discussions among routine financial insiders, economic analysts, and even Western consultants. This momentum is growing too loud to ignore. Between intelligence leaks, hedge fund whispers, and quiet adjustments in strategic currency reserves, it's becoming clear. A major financial recalibration could be underway. For those invested in exotic currencies like the Dong, Dinar, or Zimbabwe's newly minted ZIG, the line between rumor and reality is rapidly disappearing. A convergence of fiscal reforms, monetary policy shifts, and deepened global coordination is fueling serious debate over whether a historic revaluation is imminent. This is no longer about hypothetical scenarios, it's about tangible developments being tracked by sovereign analysts and central banking insiders. Vietnam's ascent as an economic force is undeniable, and many believe the time has come for its currency to reflect that reality. Investors must now prepare not on the basis of hope, but on the mounting evidence that a reset could unfold perhaps sooner than anyone expected. Vietnam's economic growth over the past 20 years has been extraordinary. The current signals indicate that the country's currency may soon step onto the global stage in a powerful new way. As global attention remains fixated on China's manufacturing decline, few have noticed that Vietnam has quietly absorbed that lost volume. With a booming modern industrial base and billions in foreign direct investment from top-tier companies, Vietnam's economy is no longer an emerging story, it's a validated success. Its fiscal discipline and modest debt load have drawn praise from G20 economists, and Bloomberg Economics recently spotlighted the Dong's central bank backing and reserve strength. With the state bank enhancing its credibility and financial structure, market chatter around a revaluation is shifting from if to when. Internal projections reportedly circulating among Southeast Asian monetary alliances point toward a plausible future where the Dong sees significant upward adjustment. Trading desks across Asia, particularly in financial hubs like Hong Kong and Singapore, are already experiencing a surge in Dong-linked derivatives. Private banking clients are being advised by wealth strategists to consider the Dong as a near-term currency play rather than a speculative long shot. The transformation is not only economic but reputational. Vietnam is finally being viewed as a currency contender, ready to match value with strength. As the world watches China's slowing trajectory, Vietnam is rising as a disciplined, agile player ready to lead Southeast Asia's financial evolution. In contrast to Vietnam's methodical rise, Iraq has taken a more rugged path, but one that now appears to be leading toward lasting financial stability. Often labeled too volatile for institutional investors, Iraq is undergoing a quiet transformation. With the Central Bank of Iraq implementing structural reforms to reduce manipulation, digitize currency flows, and modernize banking systems, the nation is re-establishing financial credibility. Oil output has stabilized and is being funneled into sovereign wealth planning. Meanwhile, strategic partnerships with the Gulf and beyond have deepened, indicating a move toward regional integration. Quiet negotiations, some allegedly involving US-based financial institutions, point to the increasing likelihood of dinar-backed trade settlement frameworks. This alignment of events supports the idea of a semi-asset-backed dinar model, a vital step for any currency on the path to revaluation. Parliamentary leaks and fiscal policy documents hint at the possibility of a controlled floating model offering gradual value adjustments without inviting hyperinflation. The Iraqi Gazette has even published fiscal parameters seen by some analysts as indicators of revaluation groundwork. If such a move materializes, a price point like $4.92 is no longer outlandish, becomes reflective of years of strategy and preparation. Iraq's economic comeback is not just a possibility, it's the result of methodical, long-term recalibration behind the scenes. While the Dong and Dinar dominate revaluation headlines, Zimbabwe's currency Dong reform effort is quietly gaining traction. Once seen as a case study in financial collapse, Zimbabwe is now executing one of the most aggressive monetary turnarounds on the continent. The launch of the gold-backed Zimbabwe Gold ZiG note has been dismissed by skeptics, but many experts now see it as a calculated attempt to restore confidence and rebuild currency integrity. By anchoring its monetary system to gold reserves, Zimbabwe is pursuing not just a symbolic fix, but a serious strategy. Regional leaders and economic blocs are paying attention. Its relationships within BRICS Plus and the African Union are strengthening, giving the ZiG unexpected international footing. Though the ZiG has yet to attain mainstream acceptance, there is growing anecdotal evidence of its emergence in quiet trades across Africa and parts of Asia. Reports of high-net-worth individuals acquiring these notes as speculative holdings suggest that long-term faith is forming. The key to Zimbabwe's success will be audited transparency and continued diplomatic outreach to win over global markets. If those elements fall into place, the ZiG could potentially spearhead a new era of African financial legitimacy. Investors willing to play the long game may eventually find themselves holding a currency that not only rebounds but resets expectations for what is economically possible on the continent. One of the strongest signals pointing to an upcoming revaluation is the recent behavior of major banks. Confidential reports suggest that institutions like JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, and HSBC have begun quietly circulating restricted foreign currency rate sheets and locking internal access to live exchange rates, often a telltale sign of coming monetary adjustments. Known as rate blackouts in banking, these events are highly controlled and typically coincide with pre-launch activity around new currency values. Insiders claim these movements are happening in sync across institutions, indicating a coordinated preparation rather than coincidence. For many, these internal shifts are the canary in the coal mine. Additionally, elite private clients are allegedly receiving early advisories warning them to increase holdings in both the Dong and Dinar. Some of these messages include cryptic phrases like Tier 1 conversion readiness, a term often associated with institutional-level revaluation events. Similar pre-event behaviors were recorded prior to the Kuwaiti dinar's reset in the early 90s. Moreover, phantom rate spikes, brief, unexplained jumps in the dinar's value have appeared on limited-access Forex screens, only to be retracted within seconds. These may represent live system tests, further supporting the notion that the financial systems involved are already preparing behind closed doors. A revaluation is rarely just about numbers, it's about power, pressure, and timing. The shift we may be witnessing involves much more than two currencies. This is potentially a restructuring of the global economic map. As institutions grapple with inflation, debt burdens, and failing purchasing parity models, emerging markets are demanding updated recognition. Both Vietnam and Iraq are making bold moves, Vietnam aligning more closely with ASEAN and diversifying trade, Iraq courting Gulf partners and reviving oil for dinar initiatives. Both are exploring blockchain-based settlements and e-governance financial platforms. These aren't isolated developments. They're part of a coordinated effort to rebalance financial sovereignty. Should this revaluation scenario play out with $2, 60 Dong, and $4, 92 dinar, the ripple effects would be swift and far-reaching. Global Forex desks would need to adjust exposures in real time. Emerging market indices from MSCI and FTSE Russell might rapidly reclassify Vietnam and Iraq, impacting billions in automated fund allocations. Commodity prices, especially in oil and rare earths, would react sharply, reflecting these nations' newfound economic leverage. Financial institutions would face urgent liquidity demands. From large volume holders seeking redemptions, while governments scramble to update tax codes to capture surging personal wealth. Overnight, new millionaires could be created on an unprecedented scale. In light of all these developments, preparation isn't optional, it's essential. The first step: identify institutions authorized to handle exotic currency redemptions and confirm their procedures now. Some banks may only handle such transactions through private channels or by appointment, so clarify the logistics early. Second, ensure every currency-related document is complete and accessible. Purchase receipts, Authenticity certificates and ID documents should be digitized and securely stored, preferably in cloud systems with multi-factor verification. If your holdings are sizable, consult legal services for notarization or custodial storage to avoid complications during redemption. Next, stay grounded in facts, not online hype. Trust licensed financial advisors, institutional-grade Forex data, and cross-verified updates from reliable communities. Don't take every rumor at face value. The fourth step is tax planning. Sit down with professionals to structure potential gains for long-term benefits. Wealth protection strategies, charitable vehicles, and reinvestment plans can mean the difference between fleeting fortune and generational impact. Lastly, plan for digital security. Use physical backups, fireproof storage, and ensure someone you trust can access your data in case of emergencies. Smart planning today can preserve value tomorrow. Whether the revaluation happens exactly tomorrow or days from now, the groundwork has undeniably been laid. This is no longer speculative fiction, it's an unfolding economic reality. The Vietnamese Dong and Iraqi Dinar are now centerpieces of a larger effort to de-dollarize trade, regionalize currency power, and update outdated financial models. A successful reset would validate years of analysis, belief, and patient positioning. But windfalls don't go to the hopeful, they go to the prepared. If you've been watching the signs, now's the time to act. What happens next may change your life or the very fabric of global finance. The information presented in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended as financial advice, investment guidance, or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any currency. All discussions around currency revaluations, foreign exchange rates, and market trends are speculative in nature and should not be taken as guarantees of future outcomes. Always consult with a licensed financial advisor, tax professional, or legal expert before making any investment decisions. Iraqi Dinar Hub does not guarantee the accuracy of any information presented and disclaims any liability for financial losses or decisions made based on this content.